Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is honestly a total game changer for your German fluency. We are going to decode the German Präsens and Perfekt tenses, and we're going to use them to help you articulate your ultimate dream life. Whether you're gearing up to absolutely crush your B1 exam, or you just want to sound way more natural when chatting about your future goals with native speakers, mastering these two tenses, it's your golden ticket. So let's just dive right in.
To hook your attention right out of the gate, I want you to really think about this question. What is your Traumberuf? What is your dream job? And more importantly, how would you explain it in German without totally freezing up? You know, talking about our dreams is one of the most fundamental ways we connect with people. But to actually pull it off in German, you really need the right grammatical tools in your toolkit. So, here is our roadmap for building that grammatical blueprint today. 1. Mapping your dream world. 2. Mastering the present tense. 3. Perfecting the perfect tense. 4. Comparing present and past. And 5. Putting grammar into practice.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Mapping Your Dream World.
Before we can build those beautiful German sentences, we need the raw materials, right? Let's start by mapping out our goals. Notice the 5 main branches of our brain map here. Honestly, this is a really fantastic exercise to just do on your own time. You put Traumwelt in the center and branch out. Are you picturing a Traumberuf, like an IT specialist working totally independently? Or maybe a Traumreise, an Abenteuerreise to Japan with just a backpack? Perhaps your Traumhaus is a moderne Villa am Meer, or a cozy, sustainable house up in the mountains. Your Zukunftsträume might be about starting a family or earning a great living, and your Traumhobbys could be mastering a musical instrument or even extreme sports. This right here is our foundational vocabulary. Lock these concepts in, because we're going to use them to practice our grammar.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering the Present Tense. Now that we have our dream vocabulary, let's figure out how to structure it. The presence is an incredibly powerful tool. It's not just for what's happening right this exact second. It is your absolute go-to for the present moment, general facts, your daily habits, and, this is super important in German, charting out your future plans. Seriously, if you say morgen arbeite ich, you're using the present tense to talk about tomorrow. You just throw in a time word and boom, you are suddenly talking about the future.
Okay, what's really cool here is how incredibly predictable and formulaic the endings are across standard verbs. Look at the patterns for machen, to make, träumen, to dream, and leben, to live. For ich, we see that ending, mache, träume, lebe. For du, it's st, machst, träumst, lebst. Sie, is gets the T. Wir and the formal Z and Z take the full N, and ihr takes a T. Once you lock in this rhythm, st, t, n, t, you can conjugate pretty much any regular verb to express exactly what you are doing right now to chase those dreams. Let's see this actually working in the wild. Ich träume von einer besseren Zukunft. I dream of a better future. Wir sprechen über unsere Zukunftsträume. We talk about our future dreams. Now, here's a massive insider tip. A super common trap B1 students fall into is overcomplicating things. They try to translate these really complex, convoluted structures from their native language directly into German. But actually, sticking to this clean, straightforward subject-verb structure is the real key to sounding natural and confident. Don't overthink it, just trust the formula.
Let's jump into Section 3, Perfecting the Perfect Tense.
But what happens when you want to talk about steps you've already taken toward your dream? We can't just live in the present. The absolutely crucial point here is that perfect is the most common way to speak about the past in daily German conversations. If you're grabbing coffee with a friend and talking about that trip you took to Australia, you are not going to use the simple past. You're going to use the perfect. And it has a very specific equation. You take a helper verb, either haben or sein, and you add the Partizip II, which, as you probably know, gets kicked all the way to the very end of your sentence.
You know, German grammar gets a pretty bad rap for being intimidating, but look how simple the morphology is here for regular verbs. How do we make that Partizip II? You literally just make a sandwich. You sandwich the verb stem between ge and t. Take the verb machen. The stem is mach. Put ge in the front, t at the end, and you get gemacht. Träumen becomes geträumt. Arbeiten becomes gearbeitet. Sure, there are irregular verbs that end in n instead, like gesehen or gesprochen, and those Eden verbs that don't take a ge at all, like studiert. But this ge, stem, t sandwich, that is your bread and butter for regular verbs.
Okay, now for the helper verbs. This is a classic B1 stumbling block, knowing when to use haben and when to use sein. But here's your golden rule. Use sein for movement from point A to point B or a change of state. Ich bin nach Deutschland gereist. I traveled to Germany. Movement. Ist nach Hause gegangen. He went home. Movement. You use haben for almost everything else. Ich habe von einer besseren Zukunft geträumt. I dreamed of a better future. Dreaming isn't physically moving you across the room, right? So we use haben. Nailing this distinction will instantly, and I mean instantly, elevate your spoken German.
All right, section 4, comparing present and past.
Let's put these side by side so you can really see the mechanics of how these two tenses build conversational fluency. Seeing them next to each other shows exactly how a thought shifts from a current habit directly into a completed past action. Ich träume von einer besseren Welt. I dream of a better world, like right now. Now, push it to the past. Ich habe von einer besseren Welt geträumt. Notice how that core verb gets bumped all the way to the end of the sentence as geträumt, and habe swoops in to take the second position. And check out that last one. Wir reisen oft becomes wir sind oft gereist. We use sind because, again, traveling is movement. This whole structural dance is really the heartbeat of German grammar.
Finally, section 5, putting grammar into practice. Okay, time to make this practical. Let's take these grammatical blueprints and apply them to real-world scenarios, like B1 speaking and writing tasks. This is exactly what you need if you're facing down an exam or honestly just trying to hold your own in a serious discussion. If someone asks about your dream job, use this structured cheat code path to guarantee a super solid, organized answer. Don't just start rambling. First, Begrüßung. Hello, my name is. Second, Thema vorstellen. Today, I'm talking about my dream job. Third, Traumberuf nennen. My dream job is X. And fourth, Begründung geben. Give your reasons. I find this job interesting because. Breaking your speech down into these 4 steps shows totally calm confidence and ensures you won't lose your train of thought when the pressure is on. Now, if you really want to wow a native speaker or an examiner, here's the secret hack. Deliberately mixing both tenses. It sounds so incredibly natural. In your speaking task, don't just lean entirely on the present tense. Say, ich interessiere mich für IT. I am interested in IT. And then follow it up with a perfect sentence to add some real depth. Ich habe mich schon immer für Computer interessiert. I have always been interested in computers. Or, ich arbeite gern mit Menschen und ich habe schon einmal im Ausland gearbeitet. Blending them like this proves you have full command over the timeline of your life.
Let's pivot to writing really quickly. Imagine you stumble across this post in an online forum. Tanya here is arguing that remote work completely lacks the fulfilling personal contact of a traditional dream job. She says, today, many work in a home office and have very little personal contact with colleagues, making the job way less fulfilling. So how do we respond to this in a structured B1 context? Well, to successfully respond to Tanja in a workbook or an exam setting, your writing task needs to hit these 5 very specific points. In about 80 words, you've got to state your opinion clearly, give a reason, provide an example, balance it out with one advantage and one disadvantage, and wrap it all up. I know, it sounds like a lot to juggle, but having this exact checklist ensures you maximize your points and write a totally complete, coherent argument.
And this right here, this is your cheat sheet. You can use this exact template framework to structure your argument safely and effectively every single time you write. You start with, Ich bin der Meinung, dass. I am of the opinion that, followed by weil, because, for your reason. Then you bring in einerseits on the one hand for an advantage and andererseits on the other hand for a disadvantage. Then you just bring it home with zusammenfassend lässt sich sagen, dass. In summary, it can be said that. If you plug your new Präsens and Perfekt sentences into this exact framework, you are going to sound incredibly articulate.
So we've mapped out the dream world, we've mastered the presence for today, conquered the perfect for the past, and built solid frameworks for speaking and writing. To wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with a final challenge using both the tenses we just broke down. Was ist dein Traum und was hast du heute dafür gemacht? What is your dream and what have you actually done for it today? Think about it, write it down in German, and take that next step. Keep practicing, keep building those sentences, and I will catch you in the next explainer.